Hey folks, this is Jocelyn. I wanted to go into a small demo of how to use what's called the actions function in Photoshop. The reason for that is that we will be able to create a series of movements amongst a file in such speed that it's going to save you a lot of time as well as headache. So let me show you what I mean. Excuse me. First, we're going to open up a file, and I've made, if you look right here, I'm going to drag it into the screen here, you can see a file called demo, and it has a series of photographs in it. I'm going to go and open all those photographs, so you'll see here when I pull it up. I'm going to open those pictures. Okay, and you can see up at the top, I have those photographs as these little tabs. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new action. And so how to do that would be we choose this, what's this a circle, and says begin recording. So I'm going to click that. Oh, and that's confusing because I was just starting to record into an action that's already existent. So we don't want that. Sorry, that was confusing. We instead are going to go to create new action right here. And I'm going to name it something that pertains to this project. So resize photos. I'm going to push record. Okay, so that red dot is on. That means that whatever I'm about to do is going to start building as a list underneath the resize photos title. So really, I'm not going to do much because I don't need to, but there are a few things so I can just show you a sense of, or you can get a sense of a number of things listed to then transpire. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to image size. I do want to make sure it's 72, which it is, and I also want to make sure it's 480 because your project specs is around 640 by 480, either horizontally or vertically. And then I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to come to mode. I'm going to turn it into a grayscale image, which means it's going to remove all the color. And then I'm going to go to mode and choose duotone. A duotone is the opportunity to have just two colors making up the design or the photograph. And you can click in here as a preview and choose what color shades you want. So I'm going to choose this red. And then in here you have the ability to play with the curves of the color to make greater highlights or lesser highlights, the whole gamut. It's a little silly, but I'm just playing here. So I'm going to say OK, push OK here. And then the final thing, if you do want to continue working with duotone, you do need to go back into mode and choose it as an RGB color mode again. And that's a really pretty funny little function, but what it's going to do is it's going to allow us to save this however we want. So I'm going to come to File, Save As. I am going to save it over the original because I don't need the original's color. I'm going to make sure that my format is still JPEG. I'm going to say OK or Save. I'm going to push Replace. I'm going to keep it as a large maximum quality image, and say OK, and then I'm going to close the image right here. I'm going to click this little dot. Now, you notice that here's the title of the action that we created, and then we did a number of things. We resized, we converted it to a grayscale, then a duotone, then back to an RGB so that we could save it as a JPEG. We then saved it as a JPEG, and then we closed the file. Now I'm going to stop the actions. I've told the system that we do not want to add anything else to it. Now for each additional one of these photographs that's tabbed up here, I'm going to highlight the title, I'm going to push play, and you're going to see sort of quickly it flashed through this series of actions that we've created, and it's saving each one of those files the same way that we set up the first one. I always go back and I just make sure. So here I'm going to push my space bar or my toolbar, on my keyboard just to make sure, and I'm using my little arrows in my keyboard to click down and take a look. Looks good, and we're done. So that's how you use actions in Photoshop. An excellent tool if you need to speed things up or streamline a process to the point where you want to make sure you don't forget anything. Okay, bye.